started with a faint tapping. Nothing aggressive, just a soft, rhythmic sound, like a spoon gently striking tile. Michael first noticed it late one night while scrolling endlessly on his phone in the dim light of his studio apartment. Tap, tap, tap. He assumed it was plumbing, some weird echo from another floor. He turned up the volume on his podcast and ignored it, but the tapping returned the next night, and the next. Always around the same hour, 2:11 a.m., sharp. He checked, more than once. After the third night, it changed. It wasn't just tapping anymore. It was whispering. Too faint to make out, like someone murmuring behind the wall. His bed was against that wall, and though he wasn't a paranoid man, he moved it 2 feet forward. The building was old. Brick exterior, stained pipes, one elevator that clanked like an industrial coffin. He'd moved in 6 months ago after a breakup, and the place had the charm of loneliness built into its bones. The landlord, Mr. Rusk, was ancient and mostly mute, nodding through most conversations. The neighbors? Unseen. He heard doors open and close, but never caught a glimpse of anyone. On the 5th night, Michael pressed a glass to the wall, trying to hear better. What met his ears was not English, not any language he recognized. It was rhythmic, almost ritualistic, chanting, soft and steady. That's when he noticed the smell, sweet, sickly, and metallic, like burnt sugar mixed with rust. It was coming from the floorboards. He didn't sleep that night. The next morning, bleary-eyed and tense, Michael asked Mr. Rusk if there was anything going on with the plumbing or wiring. "Wiring's fine. Pipe's old, but they don't talk," Rusk croaked, then gave a dry chuckle. "Do we have a basement?" Rusk blinked. "No. Old blueprints say yes, but doors sealed. Been that way since the 60s. Michael didn't press. But that night, curiosity burned hotter than fear. At 2:07 a.m., he slipped on shoes and crept downstairs. The building was silent, heavy with a stillness that felt placed, not natural. Past the mailboxes, he noticed a panel in the wall that looked newer than everything else. He knocked on it. Hollow. Then he noticed faint scratches near the edge, almost like fingernail marks. He returned the next day with a crowbar. It took effort, but the panel popped off. Behind it was a narrow staircase, stone steps slick with condensation. No light, just a thick breath of air that smelled like the whispers he'd heard. He shouldn't have gone down, but he did. 23 steps below ground, he found a hallway. Crumbling walls, flickering bulbs that shouldn't have power. Symbols drawn in chalk, circles within circles, eyes, teeth. At the end stood a door. Steel. No knob, no handle. Just a black outline, as though scorched into the wall. He touched it. The air vibrated. Whispers flooded his ears. Not from outside. From inside his skull. Words he didn't understand, but felt. Hunger. Invitation. Return. He ran. That night, the whispers followed him upstairs, not just at 2:11, all night, in his closet, in the water pipes. In the reflection of his turned-off TV, he saw movement that didn't belong to him, and the smell was worse. Michael didn't leave his apartment for 2 days. When he finally did, the world outside felt thinner, like reality had been pulled taut. At the corner bodega, the cashier stared at him too long. A man in a suit walked past him and whispered a phrase in that same chant-like language. When Michael turned, the man was gone. He went to the library, checked the building's old records. In 1958, a fire destroyed the basement. No survivors. Cause unknown. One newspaper clipping mentioned a society beneath a society. Another described unmarked rooms, candles, and a circle of 21. He searched for the symbol he saw. Circles, teeth, eyes. He found it in an old demonology book. It wasn't a symbol. It was a seal, a binding. That night, 211 came, and this time, the voices spoke his name. Michael descended again, this time with a flashlight and a knife. The hallway was different, longer. The door, now ajar. Inside, a circular chamber. Walls lined with bones arranged in strange geometries. In the center, a pit, blacker than black. And around it, people, still, hooded, whispering in perfect unison. He stepped closer. Their heads turned slowly, faces blank, mouths unmoving. Yet the whispering continued. One stepped forward, lifted a hand, and pointed at him. "You are the 21st, a voice said. Not from them, from the pit. Michael couldn't move, not out of fear, but obedience. He understood. He'd always belonged to it. The room shifted, bones rearranged, light extinguished. He stood in the center now, robed, eyes blind, mind full. He chanted with them, words no human should know, words that bled reality at the seams. From the pit, something rose, tall, eyeless, mouths where there shouldn't be. It devoured sound, air, thought, and it spoke. "We remember." Michael screamed, but only inside. His voice served the chant now. His hands followed the pattern. The ritual wasn't to summon it. It was to feed it. Michael's apartment is empty now. Rent unpaid. Mail stacked. But at 2:11 a.m., neighbors hear tapping. Whispers. Faint chanting. Sometimes they dream of stairs. Sometimes they go looking. And beneath the city, the circle waits. The 21st has been found, but the pit is always hungry.